His feet are black from walking barefoot for 3 years. His dreadlocks hang past his shoulders. When someone asks his name, he says Isa, not Axel, because the MotoGP racer who grew up with millions is dead. In his place stands a barefoot wanderer searching for God across Pakistan. Axel Pons was born April 9, 1991 in Barcelona, into motorcycle racing royalty. His father Cito Pons won two 250cc world championships and owned Pons Racing. The family had wealth, status, legacy, and Axel grew up knowing what was expected: become a racer, win championships, continue the family name. At 17 years old, Axel made his Grand Prix debut in the 125cc class in 2008 with 3 wildcard rides. In 2009, he graduated to the 250cc class, riding for his father's team. And in 2010, when the new Moto2 class replaced 250cc, Axel stepped up to the intermediate category, racing for Pons Racing, riding the Calyx-framed Pons HP40, a machine worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Carrying the family name, everything a young racer could want was handed to him. Factory equipment, professional mechanics, a father who understood racing at the highest level. But the results never came. From 2010 to 2017, Axel Pons raced 8 full seasons in Moto2, 144 races, 179 points, 0 wins, 0 podiums, 0 pole positions. His best championship finish was 16th overall in 2016 with 55 points. His best race result was 6th place at the 2016 Italian Grand Prix at Mugello. 6th, not 1st, not even 2nd. 6th. For a rider carrying the Pons name, it wasn't good enough, and everyone knew it. The paddock watched Axel race against riders who would become legends: Marc Marquez, Francesco Bagnaia, Maverick Viñales, Johan Zarco, Fabio Quartararo. Every one of them graduated to MotoGP. Every one of them became a champion or a race winner. And Axel watched from the Moto2 class knowing he would never join them. He wasn't fast enough, wasn't consistent enough, wasn't good enough, and the weight of his father's legacy crushed him every single race weekend. But Axel wasn't just a racer. He was also a model. Signed to the Spanish modeling agency site in 2017. Handsome, photogenic, the son of a racing legend with the looks for magazine covers. He graduated from La Salle University in Barcelona with a degree in business engineering in 2013. Balanced racing with education. Did everything right. And on paper, Axel Pons had everything: money, education, a racing career, a modeling career, a future in the family business. Everything except happiness. In 2017, Axel gave an interview to Icon magazine that revealed the truth behind the racing helmet. He said, "I needed to bury the pilot, Axel Pons. Not retire, not step away, bury, kill the person he had been forced to become for 26 years. Because racing motorcycles at 200 miles per hour wasn't his dream. It was his father's dream. And after 10 years of trying to become someone he wasn't, Axel Pons finally accepted that speed would never bring him peace." At the end of the 2017 season, at age 26, Axel retired from motorcycle racing. Never reached MotoGP, never won a championship, never escaped his father's shadow. And the racing world forgot about him within weeks. What happened next? Nobody in the racing world could have predicted. Axel didn't become a team manager like most retired riders, didn't join his father's business, didn't transition to car racing or commentary. He disappeared, deleted his social media accounts, stopped responding to messages, and started questioning everything about the life he had been living for 26 years. The wealth, the status, the speed, the constant travel, the pressure, the expectations. And somewhere in the silence after retirement, Axel Pons began to break. The COVID-19 pandemic arrived in 2020. Lockdowns, restrictions, government control. And while most people waited for life to return to normal, Axel saw something different. He saw humanity being dehumanized, controlled, disconnected from nature and from God. And the realization triggered something inside him that racing had suppressed for years: the need to find meaning beyond motorcycles, beyond money, beyond everything the modern world had told him mattered. He started walking, slowly at first, around Barcelona, then longer distances, days at a time, and with every step, Axel felt the speed draining out of his body, the need to go fast, to compete, to prove himself, all of it falling away with every kilometer walked. He stopped wearing shoes, felt the earth beneath his feet, hot pavement, cold dirt, sharp rocks, and the pain grounded him in ways racing never could, because racing was about escaping. Speed was about running away from yourself. But walking barefoot forced him to feel everything. Every step, every breath, every moment. He began studying philosophy, religion, spirituality, reading texts from Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, searching for answers that racing had never provided. What is the point of living such a fast life? That's the question Axel asked himself every single day, and the answer became clear. There is no point. Speed doesn't bring peace, money doesn't bring fulfillment, fame doesn't bring happiness. And if life isn't about those things, then what is it about? Connection. To God, to nature, to the present moment. And you cannot connect to anything when you're traveling at 200 miles per hour. In March 2023, 6 years after retiring from racing, Axel Pons made a decision that would change his life forever. He packed a single backpack, left his apartment in Barcelona, and started walking east, toward the sun, toward Asia, toward God. He told his father, Cito, what he was doing, his mother, Laura, and both parents, despite not understanding, supported their son's choice. Because after watching Axel suffer through 10 years of racing, they knew he needed something different, something the Pons family legacy could never give him. Freedom. Axel walked out of Barcelona with nothing. No phone, no money, no plan. Just a backpack, a prayer, and the belief that walking barefoot across the world would bring him closer to God than racing motorcycles ever could. And the man who had spent his entire life going fast finally learned how to slow down. The first months were brutal. Axel's feet blistered, bled, hardened into calluses that looked like leather. He walked through Spain, France, Italy, the Balkans. Every day the same routine. Wake at 5 in the morning. Meditate. Yoga. Walk. No hotels, no restaurants. He slept in forests, under bridges, in abandoned buildings, ate whatever food people offered him, drank from rivers and streams. And slowly, the wealth and comfort of his former life became a distant memory. He stopped using his birth name, started introducing himself as Isa, the Arabic name for Jesus, a name that represented his spiritual rebirth, the death of Axel Pons, the racer, and the birth of Isa the pilgrim. People who met him on the road didn't recognize the son of Cito Pons. They saw a barefoot man with dreadlocks and worn clothes walking slowly through their villages. And Axel preferred it that way, because anonymity was freedom. And for the first time in his life, nobody expected anything from him. In July 2023, 4 months into the journey, Axel reached North Macedonia. He called his father from an internet cafe and told him where he was. And Cito Pons, at 65 years old, made a decision that showed just how much he loved his son. He flew to North Macedonia, found Axel in a forest, and spent 1 week walking barefoot alongside him. Father and son, walking, talking, sleeping under trees. No motorcycles, no racing, no pressure. Just 2 men trying to understand each other. Cito later described it as an unforgettable experience, because for the first time, he saw his son truly happy. Axel continued east, through Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, 10 countries in 15 months, walking 8 to 12 hours every day. His feet turned black from dirt and road tar. His body became lean from the constant movement and minimal food. and his mind emptied of everything except the present moment. No thoughts about racing, no regrets about championships he never won, no anxiety about the future, just walking, step after step after step, toward the sun. People who encountered him on the road asked the same questions. Where are you from? Where are you going? Why are you walking barefoot? And Axel's answers were always the same. I'm from Allah. I'm walking to complete union with God, and walking barefoot is my way of praying, because for Axel, every step was a prayer, every blister was a sacrifice, and every mile brought him closer to the spiritual peace that racing had stolen from him for 26 years. He lived with nothing, owned nothing, wanted nothing except to keep walking, and the man who had grown up with millions discovered that happiness doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you give up. Axel Pons gave up everything, and in return, he found something the racing world could never understand. Freedom from the need to be anyone except himself. By November 2024, Axel Pons had reached Pakistan. 15 months of walking from Barcelona. His feet were unrecognizable, black, cracked, covered in scars from 3 years of walking barefoot across rocks, dirt, pavement, and sand. A Pakistani YouTuber named Wahaj Ali encountered him walking along a mountain road and posted a video interview. The video went viral. Hundreds of thousands of views. And suddenly, the racing world discovered what had happened to Axel Pons. In the video, Axel sits on a chair, speaking to a child. When asked his name, he says Isa first, then clarifies that his birth name was Axel. But he doesn't introduce himself as a racer. Doesn't mention MotoGP or Moto2 or his father's championships. He's just a man who has been walking for 3 years. When asked where he's from, Axel responds, I'm from Allah, but I was born in Barcelona, Spain. And when asked why he's walking barefoot, his answer is simple. At some point, nothing else made more sense than to walk and to surrender all the weight that we were accumulating during our life, and just desire complete union with Allah, or with God. This is our way of praying and practicing. By walking, the video shows Axel's feet, completely black, the soles hardened like stone, and when he lifts his foot to show the camera, the thickness of the calluses is shocking. 3 years of walking without shoes has transformed his feet into something barely human. But Axel doesn't see it as damage. He sees it as proof. Proof that he survived. Proof that the body can adapt to anything. Proof that comfort isn't necessary for happiness. Axel's plan was to continue walking from Pakistan into India, then China, then eventually reach the ocean. But his visa to enter India was denied. So he traveled to Islamabad to apply again. And while waiting for approval, he remained in Pakistan walking through mountain villages and sleeping in forests. The Pakistani people treated him with kindness, offered him food, water, shelter, and Axel accepted everything with gratitude, because the journey wasn't about proving himself anymore. It was about experiencing humanity at its simplest. Strangers helping strangers. Generosity without expectation. Connection without transaction. When the viral video reached Spain, the Spanish media exploded. Former MotoGP racer walks barefoot to Pakistan. The son of Axel Pons living as a pilgrim. Some people celebrated his courage. Others called him crazy, and some accused him of wasting his life. But Axel didn't respond to any of it. He had deleted his social media accounts years ago, stopped reading news, stopped caring what anyone thought, because the opinions of people living fast lives didn't matter to someone walking slowly toward God. His father Cito defended him publicly, told the Spanish press, "What Axel is doing seems extraordinary to me and shows incredible bravery and courage." And the fact that a father supported his son's choice to abandon everything the family had built showed something deeper than racing legacy. Love, unconditional, without expectation. The kind of love Axel had been searching for his entire life. As of 2026, Axel Pons is still walking, still barefoot, still moving east toward the sun. He wakes every morning at 5, meditates for an hour, practices yoga, then walks 8 to 12 hours depending on the terrain. He carries one backpack containing a blanket, a change of clothes, and nothing else. No phone, no camera, no money. He survives on whatever food people offer him, drinks from rivers, sleeps wherever he finds shelter, and every step is a prayer. He has been walking for over 3 years. His feet are permanently black. The callus is so thick that walking on gravel feels like walking on carpet. His dreadlocks hang past his waist. His body is lean from constant movement and minimal food. And when people meet him on the road, they don't see a former MotoGP racer. They see a holy man, a pilgrim, someone who gave up everything to find God. And in a way, that's exactly what Axel became. He no longer calls himself Axel. He is Isa. The man who was born in Barcelona died somewhere between Spain and Pakistan. And the person who remains is someone completely different. Someone who doesn't need speed, doesn't need money, doesn't need validation from championships or modeling contracts. Someone who found peace in the slowest possible way, walking, step by step, day by day, mile by mile, toward a destination that doesn't exist on any map. His goal isn't to reach India anymore, or China, or the ocean. His goal is to keep walking until God tells him to stop. And if that takes 5 years or 10 years or the rest of his life, then that's how long it takes. Because the journey isn't about arriving, it's about walking. And for Axel Pons, walking barefoot across the world is the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that ever made sense. Because racing motorcycles at 200 miles per hour was someone else's dream, and walking slowly toward God is his. People ask him if he regrets leaving racing, if he misses the speed, the adrenaline, the podiums. And Axel's answer is always the same. I don't miss anything. Because you can't miss something that was never yours. Racing was his father's dream. Modeling was society's expectation. And walking barefoot across Pakistan is the first thing Axel Pons ever chose for himself. The first thing he ever did because it made him happy, not because it made someone else proud. And in the mountains of Pakistan, far from the paddocks and the press conferences and the expectations, Axel Pons finally found what 10 years of motorcycle racing could never give him. Peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from winning, but the kind that comes from letting go. From walking away from everything the world says matters and discovering that the only thing that matters is the connection between your feet and the earth, between your breath and the air, between your soul and God. That's where Axel Pons lives now, in the space between steps, walking barefoot, walking slowly, walking home. Axel Pons went from MotoGP millions to walking barefoot across Pakistan, from 200 miles per hour to 3 miles per hour, from racing against the best riders in the world to walking alone through mountains. And somewhere along the way, he found something more valuable than any championship: peace, the kind that doesn't come from speed or money or fame, the kind that comes from giving up everything to find yourself. Subscribe for more untold stories.